Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is your girl Mitzi, and this is Mitzi. Let's think about it. Today we are thinking about dating apps. What a thinker! And luckily, I have Desiree here who's going to really help us think about this in a whole new way. So, thank you so much, Desiree, for coming on to my show. I am excited to think about this with you. What does dating apps make you think about?
Dating apps make me think about fun, excitement, opportunity, possibility,
Okay.
and gratitude.
That's a great way to think about it because, to be honest, when I think of dating apps, I don't think about that. I think of fear, dread, and what if somebody sees me somewhere and they're like, "Aren't you so and so and so from such app?" And I'm like, "Ugh," you know what I mean? Like for me, I never thought of actually putting myself on a dating app. So it's like,
Mhm.
what made you decide to go on a dating app to explore those options?
Okay, so I guess I'm gonna have to come out and out myself because
Like,
Mitzi,
mhm.
guess how old I was the first time I went on a date? Just a random guess.
23.
That is so interesting because just switch those numbers around.
Oh,
I was
32?
32 years old the first time I went on the first date ever in my entire life. So that is part of why I am so grateful to the dating apps because that's how I started dating.
Girl, you don't even look in your 30s or above and beyond. I thought you were, if anything, 28, so that's why I said 23. But
Uh-huh.
that is amazing. So when you signed up and you said you were excited that this was a great opportunity and you were grateful. So it's like, what is the way to go around dealing with dating apps? You know what I mean? Like, is there an etiquette? Is there a way to handle it? Since you started at 32, I mean, how did you figure this out?
Yes, and it was trial and error. And so that's why I'm passionate about it because I do think the apps get such a bad rap. And not to say there's not a ton of shenanigans, right?
Okay, yeah.
Um, but here's the thing, the apps are there for as a tool for us to use how we want to use them, you know? So why don't we use them in a way that makes them work the best for us? So I say use the app to I say get online to get offline. That's it.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
literally just using the app to meet someone and then immediately get off the app.
Right? Because once you meet the person that you connect with, that you vibe with, there's no need for the app anymore, right? So have you gotten to that point where you no longer needed the app?
Yes, but okay, but let me clarify. So when I say get on the app to get off, I mean like still be dating as many people as you want to date. I definitely believe in having a roster. But I mean like, hey, so I match with Brian today. I'm trying to
Mhm.
meet Brian by like tomorrow or the next day in person. So I'm not going to take a bunch of time going back and forth, having these deep conversations, messaging. Then first you message on the app, then give email or you give your Insta or you give your, and then you're on the phone and then you're talking, and then like in a month you meet. I feel like that's how people get burned out,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
yeah.
No, no, keep going. You're on a roll. Keep it going. I'm
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
listening.
Yeah, I think that's how you get burnt out. And then you also get too much expectations. There's too much pressure, too much riding on it. By now you start having feelings for Brian. You think you're learning too much about Brian. And you don't even know if
Mhm.
he's real. So,
Mhm.
right? So that's why I'm like, if you get on to get off, which that might sound I don't mean like that, but
No,
get
I
on
know what
to
you
get
mean.
off to get off because basically what it's going to do when you meet, you're just wanting to establish a few things before you even decide if this is someone you do actually want to put in a romantic category.
Yeah.
So my other tip, and I know this is kind of controversial, coffee dates.
Yeah.
What's wrong with them? I think they're totally fine. If anything, I would call them a coffee meeting. So let me tell
Mm.
you, so kind of how I navigated the apps. And yes, now I am in a relationship. We are talking about getting married at the end of the year or so. So, but when I was using the apps, um, my MO would be I was on there, I would match with someone, they would message me. I didn't message people first if I was interested in them. If I was like, whatever, and just kind of wanted to comment about something on their profile, I would. But if I was interested in them, no, because I'm looking for a man who can take initiative and, because
Yeah.
I do believe that in the beginning, it's kind of the dynamics of how the relationship will be,
Oh, yeah.
and the type of guy I was looking for.
Yeah.
So we'd match, few exchanges. After a while, I'd be like, I'm intrigued. Let me know. I wouldn't ask them out, but I also put in my profile things that made it easy for them to riff off of and to invite me to. So one of the things I had in my profile at the time was let's have some laughs over cheesecake.
Mm.
I got
Simple.
so many messages about what's your favorite cheesecake? Where can I find the best cheesecake? Do you want to go for cheesecake at this place? Hey, how about we go for cheesecake on Saturday? It was easy. It made it so easy for them.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's the best way to just keep it simple and keep it direct because a lot of the times people get so caught up in like just the extras, you know what I mean? And just overthinking it, over analyzing it, making it more complicated than what it really has to be. Let's be honest, that's what people do. And
It's
they feel like people have to like jump through hoops and it's like a circus and you have to be able to do this and this and this and this. And it's like, it gets overwhelming. So the fact that you were just like, this is my expectations, this is how I expect it. And it's something so simple as like, let's go to cheesecake. I want you to initiate. If you can initiate, then great. Then we're already at a good start. If you could already initiate it, you take me to coffee and we have some cheesecake and we laugh. A few chuckles from my stomach. Oh my goodness. I'm a happy camper. You know what I mean? Like we are able to have a good time. So,
yes.
how many frogs did you meet before you found your prince?
Okay, here's the other thing. Here's the
Mm-hmm.
other thing. Not that many frogs. I met a lot of men.
Okay.
They were good guys. And that's the other thing. Having that expectation that I'm going to meet good people. That's it. That's your only expectation. I'm not looking
Yeah.
for my prince, right? Yes,
Yeah.
overall, big sky, overall, like big picture, yes. But right now, I'm just on a journey to meet new people and have new experiences. Boy, it takes the pressure off, doesn't it?
It does. Just by you
Isn't it?
saying it already, it makes it sound so humble and so simple. Like I've heard some tragic stories on these dating apps. Like people got robbed, people got scammed, people, oh my goodness, like the horror story, like, oh my god. Like there's literally was a situation where I'm from where a girl met up with a guy from a dating app and come to find out, he tied her up in his sex dungeon and then chopped her up in little pieces. And then we found the police ended up finding her body parts by the river and by the lake and by a park and all these little places. It was intense. And I was just like, this is the reason why I never wanted to go on a dating app because of someone crazy like that. So it's just like, how do you necessarily avoid from like interacting from somebody that may be like danger, red flags?
Okay, yeah, that's so tragic and
It
so
is,
sad,
yeah.
you know. So when I do talk about dating, it is mostly from the female perspective. I mean, because and for women, since I am one. Um,
Mhm.
and what is very sad is that when you look at men's fears when it comes to dating, they fear rejection. They
Yeah.
fear that the woman's not going to look like her pictures. They
Mhm.
fear incompatibility. And you know what
Mhm.
women,
The same.
91% safety. They fear that they're going to get killed.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
well yeah, yeah.
that's the woman's fear,
Yeah.
so it's a very real thing and it happens. What I will say, as tragic as that story and other stories like it are, there's so many of those similar stories where they did not meet on an app. right?
Yeah.
There's so many
Yeah.
stories of like partner violence, violence against women that are from just wherever you meet them. You know, you could have met this
Mm,
man at church and he could have turned around and did something to you later. You know what I mean?
very valid.
So I do think we do have to have certain precautions when it comes to meeting men on apps, but let's not fool ourselves and think, oh, just because I met him at the grocery store, I don't have to be as right. You know,
Hmm.
I think we always have to be mindful, no matter where we're meeting these men, and still have to vet them. So I would say this, until you like, I would say it's hard for me to put a time frame, but you always want to meet in public. Always and stay, and just not just meet in public, but stay in public until you really know this person, you know? So what does that mean? Which is going to be the next step and the kind of controversial thing. Let's not be intimate with these men for a long, long time, a long, long time,
Yeah.
because we don't
I,
know them. We don't know them.
Exactly. And I'm glad that you said that because people need to talk about that. People need to realize like intimacy is not a necessary and is not a necessity. I don't need to be on top of you. I don't need you to be groping me. We don't need to plan to have sex right after we have cheesecake. You know what I mean? This is not what we're going to do. You know what I mean? Like we have
Right.
to really get to know each other. And I think that's one thing that people are forgetting that sometimes intimacy can be a conversation. Sometimes intimacy can just
Yes.
being in each other's presence
Yes.
and just like, just being across a table,
Yes.
sharing each other's time. And I also love the fact that you talked about we cannot discredit where you meet somebody because you can meet somebody anywhere. You know what I mean? Truly anywhere. And they can come from any type of background, but if that ego is hurt and they feel like some type of way that they're ready to get vengeance, they will do it
Mhm.
no matter what because that's a characteristic trait. You can find that
Mhm.
in any color, any race, any religion, any parts of the world. So it's just that you have to really have that discernment and like you said, be mindful. Oh, I love that you said that because I don't think people realize like having that discernment and being mindful and just being aware is just really important. And
Mhm.
I guess it leads me to my next question. How do you respectfully decline somebody?
Mm. On the app?
Yeah, if on the
Or
app
I
or
guess
in person.
in general, I like to just say, oh, that's so flattering. However, whatever. So now it's easy because I could just say, oh, I'm in a relationship already, you know.
Yeah.
But apart from that, say, oh, that's so flattering. But I wouldn't really be interested in that, or I'm not available for that, you know.
Hmm. Yeah, I think that's a great way because you keep it simple, keep it
Mhm.
straight to the point. And I think that's one thing is hard for people is just to say no. You know what I mean? And I think one thing that I'm telling people after I had a guest that was like, we need to realize that no is also a gift. You know what I mean? And I think that's one thing that we all can really gravitate towards that sometimes saying no and even being told no can be a gift because imagine if you were so hot-headed for somebody and so passionate so like oh this person I knew he's for me he could be for me but he rejected you and said no and then you have a choice you can either keep yourself up and keep on walking until you find the right one or sink yourself down and just focus on the negative than the fact that this person says no there's millions and billions of people on this
Yeah.
world why get stuck on just one single person? You know what I mean? Like that's not how it should go. So it's just
Yes.
like for you, what is the best way to keep the conversation going or keep the progress of a single person that you think is possibly right for you? Like how do you go about that?
So like if I met someone and I am interested in them and I want to
Yeah. Yeah.
so again, so I'm only speaking as a woman and for people who kind of identify more in a feminine energy, okay? That's not my job.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's not my job. My job is to respond to what is coming towards me. If there's nothing coming towards me, my job is then to move on elsewhere. Because I think that's part of what gets us in trouble as women. we then start to be like, oh, I'm not feeling him coming towards me. I got to make something happen. But then you're never going to know if that man genuinely wants you or if they're just responding to all the work you're doing. And that doesn't
Yeah.
feel good. It doesn't feel good to me. I
Yeah.
don't think it feels good to most of us.
Mm-hmm.
know? So I do think like if we're not seeing that the conversation is flowing, like if I'm doing my job and doing my part, which is responding, but then he's not giving me anything to respond to, then it's just like, okay, well, then this is not a man. Either he's not interested or he's not interested enough, you
Yeah.
know.
Or
And
he's
that's
too,
okay.
or sometimes he can be just too timid to even say anything. Like, I remember meeting somebody that he liked me so much that he just couldn't even talk. Like, the words just couldn't even come out of him. And I was just like, I can't talk to you because you can't talk to me. You know what I mean? Like, there's no real conversations. And then I remember somebody, he was so into me that but my problem with him is that he spoke so softly. Oh my, it bothered me. Like it was so soft and so like gentle that I just wanted to scream. I can barely hear him and I was just like, I can't.
Oh,
I need emotions. I need something. You know what I mean? Like I'm an emotional being. Like I need
wow.
somebody that can reciprocate. So yeah, I think the fact that you said that if you have to continue to initiate, if you have to continue to pursue, you need to step down
Mhm.
and realize where the other person is at mentally and not make up excuses because a lot of the times we will make excuses for the other person and that's a red flag right there. If you have to
Mm.
make an excuse for somebody, then that person is not valid because you don't even know if what you're telling yourself is true because we can conceive up a lie in our own minds to play out a scenario just to make it plausible and then it's not even factual. You know what I mean? And then it ruins the whole entire thing. So yeah, people need to get with the program and just see things as what it is because people will be honest with you if you listen and pay attention. You know what I mean? So it's like for you, which apps were the best apps to utilize?
So when I started, OkCupid was still pretty big. And so that's the one I had started on, and I really had liked it. But I know that now it's not as popular. But what I had liked about OkCupid was that it had a bunch of questions. I think you could answer up to like 1,000 questions at the time. And
Wow.
then based on those answers, they would formulate your matches based on how other people answered. So I felt like it was pretty good. But initially, when I first started, because I didn't know any better, I was just starting. Girl, when I tell you, I had a spreadsheet. I had an Excel spreadsheet, and I had gone on there and listed like my top 20 questions. And
Okay.
and I would do a whole analysis. So, okay, let's bring up Brian again. I don't
Yeah,
even know Brian. I don't know why I'm picking on Brian.
it's
But
okay.
so I was like, okay, look at Brian. I'd be like, Brian, to this question, he answered this. To this question, he answered this. To this question, he answered this. I look at all the score tabulated, and I'm like, okay, I will like him.
Oh my God, that's very analytical.
All that to just even see who I was gonna like? Oh no.
That's a lot of work.
It was way too much work. I'm so glad I got out of that because also this is before when I was just focused on, oh, Prince, compatibility. Is this someone I could marry?
Yeah.
It took a little while. I would say for the first year, maybe year and a half,
Mhm.
um, to when I really realized what this was. And that this is no, no, no. Dating is learning about yourself,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Dating is like I learned so many things there, at by 32, it's not like I hadn't thought about men and thought
Yeah.
about relationships, but at that point it was just thoughts and theories. And it
Mhm.
wasn't until I was actually there in practice, I started to really say, oh, I thought I would like this, but actually I don't. And I never even considered this, but wow, I like a guy who does this. Then it became, oh, I'm just getting to know myself through my experiences with these men, through my
Mhm.
interactions with,
Yes.
with
I
that.
love I love that because people don't realize your single season you have to embrace it. Oh, I loved my single season when that was a season because
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I went on dates. I did exactly like you said. I found out my boundaries. I found out my respect. I found out my value. I found out my realizing what one man wouldn't do, another man was willing to do. You know
That
what I mean?
that
Like
part.
people don't realize like you don't have to settle for
No,
nothing and no one, and you shouldn't settle for yourself, you know what I mean?
no.
For your well-being, because you deserve whatever that your heart truly yearns, and you don't even know yourself well enough yet. You know what I mean? If you're 19 and still trying to figure out life, it's okay. Be
Mhm.
19, figure out life, make your mistakes, find who you really are so that when you're older and you're ready to settle down and you're ready to figure out life and ready to go down that journey with somebody, you've been there, done that, and don't even have the energy to cheat. You don't have the energy to talk. You don't have the energy to do all that extra stuff that's not necessary. You're really to
Oh,
focus on that
yeah.
other human being that's ready to focus on you. So it's just like,
Mhm.
give yourself that time to embrace it, because I hate it when people say, oh, I hate being single, man, it's no fun, man. And it's like, no, that's the best part. You can sleep in your
Yes.
bed like a
Yes.
starfish, just on full
Yes.
clock rotation. You know what I mean? Like you can
Yes.
come and go as you please without checking in. It is the best time of everyone's life. So it's
It
like,
is.
embrace it.
It
Man,
is.
Desiree, I am enjoying this conversation and time is catching up to us. So,
No.
what can be some lasting words to keep us all
Ah,
thinking?
man,
I
that
know.
just barely got started. Well, because I do what you just said is huge. Because I do think if you're looking to date to find a man to rescue you from your single life, that's when you're not going to have a good time dating. Because then how can you have no expectations? It's so much expectations. So right there, I would say the red flag is you got to be enjoying your life. Because how are you going to invite a man to a party you don't want to be at?
Say it again for the people in the back.
You know, you're literally saying, "Hey, I have this life. I would love to share it with you." And the man's like, "You don't even want to be there."
Uh,
Why would I want to? So it's got to be a life you love already. I always
yeah.
say like a relationship and a man should be the cherry on top of an already delicious sundae. That
Mm,
sundae is beautiful, it's good, it's got the chocolate, it's got the whipped cream, it's got the sprinkles. Literally, just add that little decoration on top. But even without it, it's delicious.
mm-hmm.
You
Right,
know?
exactly. If you don't got time to put the sprinkles on, it's okay. Still yummy. I'll still eat it. If you don't got time to put that cherry on top, it's okay. It's still delicious. I'm still gonna scrumptious it up. You know what I mean? So yes, I value your words. I value this time with you. And thank you so much for helping me and everybody else think about these dating apps, thinking about dating, thinking about singleness, thinking
Yeah.
about all of these great topics in such a way that we can truly continue on thinking. And ladies and gentlemen, if you guys enjoyed this conversation as much as I did, go check out Desiree. I have access to her beautiful photo. You'll find it on my website, or if you're just listening on audio, if you're on YouTube, go in the description, find her access to her website so that you can continue on thinking. So, with that being said, bye.